I cut the check, I cut the check, I cut the check. Tell my niggas we up next, so we up next. She shot a text, she shot a text, she shot a text. Kill the I might put the different day, put a nigga on that same shit. I've been ballin' with my niggas, Kevin Cambridge. Oh, you drippy, but you better tuck your chain quick.
What's good, y'all, man? We back again with another episode of Between the Lines, and today, like I told y'all a couple days ago, I'm coming back with another series, man. And to this series, basically, we're just gonna be talking about teams, man. We're into the NBA season. We see a couple teams doing good, a couple teams going bad, so we're just gonna focus in on a team and talk about them. So today, you probably already know who I'm going to talk about. Well, actually, you do know. You see it in the fucking title. We're talking about the Warriors. I believe that the Warriors have finally figured it out. Let's go back a couple years ago. If you don't know the Warriors, well, you should know. You're watching an NBA podcast. You should know about the NBA a little bit. From 2015 to 2019, they were in a dynasty. Basically, had two of the best teams of all time. That's 73-19, and then one of the teams, or either both of the teams, with KD. They had two of the best teams of all time. They won 3 championships, and they were pretty dominant. And then 2019, it kind of all went down. KD towards Achilles and Klay towards ACL in the finals. And then a year after that, Steph broke his hand. Draymond was in and out the lineup. And then Klay towards Achilles. So they kind of look bad. That 2019-2020 season was terrible. They were playing all G Leaguers. They started off with D'Lo. Then they traded D'Lo for Wiggins. And then they were even worse. So it kind of got pretty bad. But then you look at last season, they kind of brought it all back together a little bit. Of course, Klay missed the whole season again. But for the first 45 games, they started off 22-23. They weren't really good, weren't really bad. It was really a lot of Steph Curry carrying the team. They brought in Wiggins, they brought in Kelly Oubre. They kind of started off really terrible, shooting the 3 terribly. Wiggins was shooting 22% from the 3, and Kelly Oubre was shooting Wiggins was shooting 28. Kelly Oubre was shooting 22. They kind of started off pretty bad, bro. But you can kind of see they brought defense to the team as far as wing defense. I think Draymond and Kelly Oubre kind of got in Wiggins' head. And also with them winning more games, it kind of got to Wiggins' head that he has to start locking in on defense. And that's when he started to do, bro. And he looked really good on defense. And then they brought in a rookie, James Wiseman. And then the one thing with a rookie, especially if you're playing for the Warriors, they have one of the most advanced offenses of all time. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to learn, especially for a center. You got to set so many screens, so many bad screens. You got to be aware. You got to be getting the rebounds. You got to do all that stuff. You got to be able to pass. And it was kind of hard for him to learn, bro. He wanted to do a lot, bro. He wanted to take the ball on transition, do all that other stuff. He got a lot of targeting calls called on him because he tried to rush it. He tried to do extra stuff, which is not bad with a rookie. Rookies usually do that, but you really can't do that with the Warriors. And he kind of started off really bad, but it wasn't that bad. He averaged 12 points, 8 rebounds, shooting 54 from the field and 30 from 3. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't what they needed at that time. And then he got hurt and missed the rest of the season. But a lot of things happened last season. They also sent Jordan Poole, their former first-round pick in 2019, I think. They sent him to the G League. What else happened? The only 2 players that were really doing anything was Draymond and Steph. Steph was doing his thing. He wasn't really in the MVP conversation for the first half of the year, but he was still doing his thing. Draymond Green being really the only defensive anchor for the team. He was just doing his defense the whole year. He was helping Steph out, getting him his assists and all that stuff. But the second half of the season, that's when the whole team kind of took off. They finished off the season 17-10. Steph Curry completely dominated the last 27 games of the season. He averaged 37 points, 5 rebounds, 48 from the field, and 43 from 3. Let me take out this piece of gum. He averaged 43 from the 3. He dominated the last part of the season, finished up in the MVP campaign, and he finished 3rd, I believe, because I think it was Jokic in the beating set. He finished 3rd. Draymond also did his thing, finishing off the year. I think that went really under the radar. He averaged 9, 9, and 8, shooting 54 from the field and 30 from the 3. And defensively dominating, showing that he didn't really lose it. His 2019-2020 season was pretty bad. He was up and down, didn't really play in the lineup sometimes. He was never in the game. He hurt his hand. He even hurt his hand that season, so he was out a lot of times in that lineup. But last year he had a bounce back year, and he played really good, bro. And he finished top 3 also in the Defensive Player of the Year rankings. And then you have some surprising improvements from Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, and Jordan Poole. Even Juan Toscano Anderson, he earned a contract last year. But those 3 guys Andrew Wiggins jumped up to 20 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 48 from the field, 36 from the 3. Had a really good rest of the season. Kelly Oubre also finished off the season really good, averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, shooting 44% from the field, and 34 from the 3. And he even had a 44-point game. And he actually looked really good last season. I thought he was going to come back, but he didn't end up coming back. But he actually looked really good for them at the end of the season. Even Jordan Poole, he kind of like put his name on the map at the end of the season, averaging 13 points, shooting 40% from the field, 34 from 3. And he had that 138-point game against the Pelicans at the end of the season. And he had a really good game against the Grizzlies both times at the end of the season. Really put his name on the map. And things were finally starting to look good for the Warriors, man. Even though they lost both of the games on the play-in, you can kind of see when James Wiseman comes back, Klay Thompson comes back, this team can come back and be a championship-level team. And then, this offseason, they did some really good things that went under the radar. So, they had the 7th overall pick and the 14th overall pick. Now, they tried to trade it, which a lot of people will say they should have traded. And they tried, but it didn't really work out. They didn't really have enough offers out there that they wanted to do. So they drafted the picks, and they drafted Jonathan Kuminga at the 7th overall pick and Moses Moody at the 14th overall pick. Really good picks for them, bro. For Moody, I think he's going to be, well, we're saying it now. He's a player that's going to play with them. Jonathan Kuminga, even though he's hurt, he's still going to take some time to learn from this team. The one thing they're trying to get him to do is be a better shooter because he's going to need that to play with this team. But he was really a pick for the future when the Stephs and the Draymonds and the Clays are out. Him, Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, hopefully they can carry the organization, James Wiseman. So that's what that pick was for. But Moses Moody, he's a player that's going to play with them right away, and that's what he's doing already. But then in the offseason and free agency, they made some real underrated signings, bro. The Iguodala signing was really underrated. I'll tell y'all why they're underrated later, but the Iguodala signing was underrated. Nemanja Bjelica, I call him Nemanja Jokic. In my notes, I have him as Nemanja Jokic because I don't know how to spell his last name. And he just plays like a little Jokic. And they also signed Otto Porter, a really good player. They signed him on a cheap contract, and hopefully he stays because he plays really well with this team. But what they did this offseason was they didn't go out there and try to sign the names because they had a little bit of money, a little bit of flexibility, but they didn't go out there and try to sign the names. They signed the players that fit with their scheme, and they weren't going to have to take enough time to learn the scheme. When you look at this team right now, they're flowing so well because they signed players that already know how to play in the Warriors scheme. Going into the season, it was a lot of expectations for this team, bro. Steph Curry, a lot of people had him winning MVP. Y'all see my list in my video a couple days ago. I had him winning MVP. Draymond Green, a lot of people still expect him to be a top 3 in the Defensive Player of the Year voting. And I do too, bro, because he's literally their only defensive anchor this year. Jordan Poole, now that he got his name on the map, you got to do something with it. A lot of people think he's going to win Most Improved, 6th Man of the Year, whatever one he plays. So they had a lot of expectations going into the year, and it kind of looks like they might reach every expectation. Now, I know it's only been 2 games, bro, but to me, even though yesterday's game was close and they started off a little slow in the Lakers game, I feel like the Warriors have dominated both games, and let me tell you why. So the first game, they started off really close with the Warriors, with the Lakers in the second half or the third quarter. I think they were tied at one point, but the reason why I said their signings are underrated, Nemanja Bjelica came in the game and changed the game with the Warriors, along with Jordan Poole. But Nemanja Bjelica was a big piece for that team. When he came in the game today, he just passed the ball. He's a really quality pass. He also spaces the floor. A really smart defender, and he knows the system already. He didn't really have to learn it because he's already fit perfectly with them, bro. And the thing that they did that changed the whole game for them is they played Warriors basketball. They moved the ball everywhere. They moved the ball. Extra pass here, extra pass there. Set back screens for their shooters. They did that, and it just kind of caught the Lakers off guard. And they completely dominated them without having a player over 6'9". And it was really fun to watch. Nemanja Bjelica kind of put his name on the map, especially for the Warriors fans that didn't really realize how good they were. He kind of put his name on the map a lot. I think he had, let me see, I think he dropped 16, 9, and 5. I don't want to just tell y'all fake stats. Let me see. Damn, I was right. Oh, no, I wasn't. He dropped 15, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Another thing that completely underrated with him is he's a really good defender. I'm not sitting here and going to say he be locking down shit, but, let me change it. He's a really smart defender. He's a really smart defender, bro. He's capable of guarding the bigs, capable of guarding the point guards, and he's really smart with it, bro. And then, of course, you signed Iggy. Iggy's a player that already played with them. He already knew the system. He came in and impacted that game on Tuesday really well. Guarded LeBron for most of the part of the game. Hit a couple clutch shots. That one clutch layup, that little reverse layup that he did, that was clutch as hell. And he really impacted the game for them. And then they brought in Otto Porter, bro. Otto Porter, his whole career, he's been setting screens, shooting corner threes, shooting off-ball threes. And that's all he has to do with this team, bro. He didn't really have to learn the system. That's the thing that went under the radar with their signings. They signed 3 players that didn't really have to learn the system, so it was going to take them time for them to get their offense in set or get their offense to be good again. Because last year, when you looked at it, Andrew Wiggins didn't really know the offense. James Wiseman definitely didn't know the offense. Kelly Oubre was trying to shoot mid-range shots in the offense, so he obviously didn't know the offense. It was all over the place, but this year they signed players that fit perfectly with this offense. Jordan Poole, he did what he's supposed to do in that game on Tuesday. He came in the fourth quarter, and him and Nemanja Bjelica, they kind of set the tone, changed the game. They got their shots up. Playing fast. They played really good defense. That bench was the only reason why they really won that game. Him and Nemanja Bjelica, they were a good little pair in that fourth quarter, bro, and they were completely dominating the Lakers, bro. The one thing that I don't think Steve Kerr gets enough credit for is the roles that he gives his players. The role that he's giving Jordan Poole right now is a role that kind of stuck out to me. He lets Jordan Poole play with the starters for a couple minutes, for like 4 or 5 minutes in the first quarter, and then he sits him, and then sits him enough so in the second quarter, when the whole bench comes in, he is the leader of that bench. He's the main scorer / ball handler on that bench. He's been flourishing in that role, and that's the reason. Let me change my light because it's kind of dark. That's the reason why they kind of came back on against the Lakers on Tuesday. And he kind of set the tone for the whole team, bro. And that's when everybody else started to make their shots. That's when Steph Curry made his first or his third 3 in the fourth quarter. So that completely changed the game. The only thing that really scares me about this team, well, first of all, let me talk about the game yesterday. The game yesterday, I feel like the only reason why it was close is because the amount of turnovers that they had. I believe Steph Curry had 6 turnovers. He had a couple pointless turnovers. It was a lot of times they were trying to draw the foul. They just didn't get the call. That's going to happen with a lot of players in this league, bro. They're going to try to draw the foul, try to just put up a random shot, and it's just going to get stolen or blocked because they're not calling every foul this year, and I really like that about that. But yesterday, they kind of just they got a lot of turnovers. They didn't play Warriors basketball. There was a lot of ISOs, not a lot of ball movement. And it kind of got out of hand. But they came back and finished off the game. Steph Curry kind of dominated in that fourth quarter. And it was really good, bro. Really good for the team, especially for the team morale. They're 2-0 right now. And I believe they're going to have a really good season. But the only thing that really scares me, and this is not really a big thing, because Steve Kerr showed last year, if you're fucking up, you're out. He showed it with James Wiseman, the number 2 overall pick. He started messing up in the first half of the season, and then he started starting Kevon Looney. The only thing that scares me is when James Wiseman comes back, kind of helping him get implemented into that offense, because he only played, I believe, 32 games out of 72 games last season. So he really doesn't know the Warriors offense like that. He's just getting back to playing basketball again. I think he was out with a bad injury. I think he tore something. Now he's just getting back to playing basketball again. So, jeez, I had a lot of spit on my. Hopefully, he can come back soon. But the only thing that scares me is getting him implemented into this offense, because he's a big piece, bro. The one thing that the Warriors really need is a big man. They have big men, pause, and Kevon Looney, Nemanja Bjelica, and Draymond Green, but they don't even have a player over 6'9", bro. So they need a big man to get rebounds, help them get rebounds, help them shot blocking and stuff. But it's going to be hard for him to get automatic minutes right away because he's got to learn the offense still. He still doesn't learn. He still doesn't know the offense completely. And he's got to get back into conditioning, bro. Then when Klay comes back, I know it's going to take him a little bit to get back into conditioning and all that stuff and game speed and all that stuff. But I feel like he's not going to miss a beat. He's still going to be shooting. I don't know about him being a really good defender like he was, but that's why they got Andrew Wiggins. They never really had a great wing defender other than Klay. Now they got Andrew Wiggins, so Klay can go back and just guard the shooters and stuff. But I feel like they're going to be a really good team, bro. As of right now, I know it's his first 2 games, but I feel like they are the best team in the West. No, I got the Nuggets. They are the second best team in the West because, like I said, I don't trust my Lakers at all. I don't care what nobody. I don't trust my Lakers. I think they can go head to head with the Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz, and I still think the Nuggets are number one. But I really believe this team is going to be really good this season. If Clay and James Wiseman come back and they're playing the way that I know that they can play with this team, a championship not out of sight, bro. A championship not out of sight this year, bro. The way Steph Curry's looking, he's looking still like he's in MVP form. Draymond Green was excellent on defense yesterday. Kevin Looney is really underrated. For the team, really underrated. His passing, because he knows the offense. That's why Steve Kerr put him in instead of James Wiseman, even though James Wiseman is the number 2 pick. Kevin Looney knows the offense. He knows he has to pass. He knows how to set the screens. He knows where to set the screens. He knows where the pass is going to be, where the cut is going to be. He knows all that stuff. He was really good on the offensive rebound yesterday. That's why they came. Oh, shit. That was a big reason why they came back. So, I really like him for this team. Like I said, Otto Porter, man, he's been doing the stuff that the Warriors are asking him to do. He's been doing that his whole career, so it's really nothing new to him. Nemanja Bjelica brings another aspect to this team, bro. More big man playmaking. He makes it really hard for them to guard the like when a guard's trying to attack the paint. He makes it really hard, bro, because like you've seen it on Tuesday when Jordan Poole tried to attack the paint. AD couldn't really help off of Nemanja Bjelica because if he did, that's an easy pass and that's an easy 3, bro. He's a really good defender. He's a really good 3-point shooter. So he adds another aspect to this team. You got Juan Toscano Anderson, little Draymond Green. That's what I call him. Moses Moody came in and his first NBA minutes had some good impact. So I really expect this team to be a really good team, bro. I do think they're like a top 5, top 10 team in the league, bro. They're a really nice team. So, we'll see from here, man. But like I said, man, I think the Warriors got to figure it out. And I think everybody in the NBA should be scared, bro. But that's it for this episode. If you guys want me to do another team, let me know. I was about to do the Mavs because the Mavs looked terrible yesterday. But that's a big overreaction. Like, I was seeing people saying that they failed Luka again, bro. Luka wasn't on shit yesterday either. Luka had 17 points. He wasn't on nothing. And he was shooting terribly. So, you know they're going to automatically try to blame you from Porzingis. That's how they do, bro. But it's one game. I'm not going to overreact. The only reason why I'm on this video because the Warriors been doing this. They just got back to doing it, and they look really good. But that's it for this episode. Peace.